we read Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John for what they are, biographies of the life of Jesus Christ, we can see at least 7 timeless time management principles from the life of Christ. And that's what we're looking at in this series. In session 1, we looked at principle number 1. Jesus started with the word. In the last session, we looked at principles number 2 and 3. Let your yes be yes and dissent from the kingdom of noise. In this session, we're going to tackle principles number 4 and 5. Prioritizing our yeses and accepting our uni-presence. Let's start with prioritizing our yeses. If you go read Mark chapter 1, there's a fascinating scene where Jesus is having a crazy busy day. He's healing people left and right. He's healing Peter's mother-in-law. And then all of the people from the town come and ask for healing. He spends all night healing the people in the village. Everyone goes to sleep. They wake up the next morning, and Jesus is starting with the word. See principle number 1. He's holed away, spending time with his Father. When the disciples come up to him and say, Jesus, everybody's back. They want an encore of healing on day 2. And Jesus says, no. He said, let us go to the nearby villages so that I can preach there, for this is why I have come. In other words, Jesus didn't say yes to everything on his to-do list. He prioritized his to-do list. He took the long list of things he could do, whittled it down to the things that he thought he should do in order to finish the work the Father gave him to do. If we want to redeem our time in the model of our Redeemer, we've got to prioritize our yeses. We've got to prioritize our to-do lists. But how? I like to use this metaphorical 5-story building to understand this, because we've all heard of different tools, quarterly goals, big, hairy, audacious goals, mission, calling, whatever. How does all of this fit together? Maybe this image will be helpful to you. Let's start at the very top floor. Imagine a 5-story building, an apartment complex, a hotel, whatever. And on the 5th floor, the top floor, is your mission in life. And here's the good news. There's tons of books out there about defining the mission for your life. I'm going to let you off the hook. You don't have to read a single one. You don't get to choose your mission because you didn't create yourself. Your creator created you with a mission, and it's simply his glory. Period. Full stop. The mission of your life is to glorify God in all that you do. See 1 Corinthians 10:31. That's your mission. Now, if you take the elevator in our metaphorical building down to the 4th floor, now we've got some choice. Now we've got some agency, because here on the 4th floor, we're talking about calling. These are the specific lanes that you're going to run after in order to bring glory to your Father. So for me personally, I've defined 3 callings for my life. I am a husband to Kara. I'm a father to Ellis and Kate and Emery, and I'm an entrepreneur, specifically leading my team at Raynor and Company. Next, if you go from the 4th to the 3rd level, that's where we have our long-term goals. And I'm going to come back to that in a minute, so I'm going to skip quickly to level 2, which are quarterly goals that help you make progress towards your long-term goals for each of your callings. Then on the 1st floor, the ground level of this 5-story building, you have your projects and actions, your tactical day-to-day to-do list. And then there is a 6th floor of this building, but it doesn't deserve to be called a floor. It's the basement. It's what I call your posteriorities, your avoid at all cost list until everything above the ground, all your priorities, are accomplished. Okay. I promised that we were going to come back to level 3 of this metaphorical building, because if there's one really practical thing I want you to walk away from with this particular principle, it's this: the practice of setting epic long-term goals. A couple of my personal big, hairy, audacious long-term goals. So with my kids, my big, epic long-term goal is that they would leave the house being fully engaged in God's mission for the world. Professionally, I got a big goal of selling 1 million books over the next 4 years. Now you may be asking, Jordan, why does this matter? Why does it matter that I set big, hairy, audacious, long-term goals? Number one, we know that God has the power to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine in our lives and work. See Ephesians 3:20. Our goals are so small compared to what we know that God can do working in and through his people in this world. Number two, bigger goals are paradoxically easier to achieve than smaller goals. Everybody sets average goals, so ironically, the level of competition decreases as the size of your goal increases. Number three, the bigger your goal, the easier it is to say no. When I talk to friends who are having trouble saying no to things on their calendars and their to-do lists, my first question is always, what's the big, hairy, audacious goal that you've said yes to? Because if there's something big enough and inspiring enough that's captivating your imagination that you're working towards, everything else looks small in comparison. Those are just three reasons to set bigger, longer-term goals. They help us prioritize our yeses and focus on the work God gave us to do. Okay, that's principle number 4. Prioritize your yeses. Let's move on to principle number 5. Accept your uni-presence. Yes, we're making up words here. As Christians, we believe that God is omnipresent. He's everywhere all the time. But for 33 years in Jesus Christ, who was fully God and fully man, Jesus willingly traded his godly omnipresence to experience the same unipresence that you and I face today. Jesus confined himself to one physical place at a time. Now, today, we act like we somehow could be in more than one place, at least mentally at a time, if not physically. And this is certifiably crazy. If Jesus couldn't be in more than one place at a time, neither can we. Now listen, there are lots of enemies in our fight for focus, in our fight to do deep work at the office and deep work at home and cultivating relationships. But I would argue the number one enemy attacking our ability to be uni-present are incoming messages. Emails pinging our phone, text message, social media DMs. It's analogous to if the mailman started coming to your house, not one time a day, but 150 times a day. But the mailman didn't stay at the curb. He got out of his car, came to your door, rang the doorbell, and you got up from whatever you were doing, answered the door, took the envelope. Maybe you open the message, maybe you don't, but at a minimum, you steal a glance at who it's from. If we did that with physical mail, we would all agree that you were certifiably crazy. But this is exactly what we're all doing with emails and text messages. And this is killing our ability to be uni-present with the people and work in our lives. So, how do we solve this problem? Let me give you one hyper-practical practice. I would argue it might be one of the most life-changing in this entire series. Here's the practice. Take control over when you check your messages. Don't let the mailman decide when you're going to check your messages. You sit in the driver's seat. So how do you do this? 3 quick steps. Number 1, you choose ahead of time when you're going to check emails and text messages every single day. And it doesn't matter when, and it doesn't even matter how many times you check your messages. What matters is that you dictate when that's going to happen. It could be 10 o'clock and 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock. It could be 10 times a day if you're in sales or customer service. The point is you dictate when that's going to happen. Step 2, make a list of VIPs in your life who can have access to you outside of those predetermined times. Personally, my VIP list includes my wife, my assistant, my kids' school. It's pretty much it. Maybe a few close friends from time to time. What you do, make that list of VIPs and add them to your favorites list if you're an iPhone user, or your people list if you're an Android user, so that when you turn your phone on Do Not Disturb, calls from those people alone, not text messages or emails, are the only thing that are going to distract you from whatever you're focused on in the moment. All right, step 3. After you've chosen when you're going to check your messages and made a list of VIPs, the last step is you've got to go to your VIPs and proactively set expectations about your response time. Send them an email, a text message, something along these lines. Hey guys, listen, in an effort to better serve you and my work, in an effort to be more focused at the office and at home, from now on, I'm only checking emails and text messages at X, Y, and Z times. However, because you're a VIP in my life, or whatever term you want to use, if you call me, not email, not text, but if you call my cell outside of those times, I'm going to answer every single time that I can. I've coached more than 1,000 people through those 3 steps over the last couple years, and not one of them has reported missing something that was truly urgent, and all of them report doing their work crazy fast and with a heck of a lot less anxiety. You can too if you put that practice into play today. Okay, so in this session, we've talked about principle number 4, prioritizing your yeses, and principle 5, accepting your uni presence. I've given you guys a couple of practices. In my book, Redeeming Your Time, there's a lot more practices to help you walk the way Jesus walked in our modern context. In our next session, we're going to round out these 7 principles, talking about how we need to embrace productive rest and eliminate all hurry. I'll see you there.